Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. It's a mini, and I am Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
I almost said studio instead of podcast. That's why
I was confused what we were doing because I didn't see anybody counting up or down from 3.
I told him not to count.
I know. I was like, oh, we're starting? What? Oh, I don't even know what to do.
But see, the counting helps me know when to push the button.
I know, but he wasn't stopping talking. I had to get it started. So.
You should have just started the podcast me mid-rant, just like I'm in the middle of something.
I thought that's how I was going to start. You would have heard the horn and Andy just go.
And another thing.
Update. If you want to watch Cocaine Bear, it is available on Peacock.
Nice. Is that like is it free on Peacock with
free
ads?
on Peacock, yeah.
I'll be watching that this weekend for sure.
I think I didn't watch this on there, but I watched another movie, Megan, I think I watched on there. And when I watched Megan, I think I watched a 45-second commercial, and then the whole movie was mine.
Jesus Christ, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I'll do that every
That was
time.
Megan?
Megan, yeah.
It's on Peacock, too?
Yeah, if you listen to our podcast, or even listen as we record it, or when you edit it, or when you listen to it on, I don't know what you listen to us on, because
Do you listen to this podcast, Brian? Do you listen to this after the fact?
Not after I edit it, no.
But
you've already heard it.
But you remember I spoke about that on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I upload it, I just depend on you guys. If something happened during the finalization process, I depend on you guys listening to it and be like, hey, what was that whole
I don't always get to it right
part?
away.
I was going to say, so you're hoping we're going to catch something before it goes out to the...
I do a spot check because it always annoys Christine, because I'll do boom, I'll click on the beginning, then the middle, and I'll do like 10 parts to make sure that everything sounds good, but I won't listen to the whole thing a second time.
It's not about how we sound, it's what we say that's the troubling thing that you might have to edit out after the fact.
That's why I have to listen to every single episode and then sit there and just be like, what time was that? Click. And I have to find the cut point, because sometimes I'll cut out stuff and I'll be like, this is good stuff to cut out, but it doesn't make any sense. But it all branched from this horrible
I was going to
comment.
say, Jason's rampant anti-Semitism. I have to cut it out. Like, I got to get it out of here.
I just finished Mandalorian season 3. I'm not going to say much here, but I just felt like it was lackluster ending. It just felt
Based on what happened in the last episode, like, so much happened right there.
I know, but I just feel like we didn't get enough, and this is the end. And I do believe this was the finale, but
Oh,
How many episodes is it?
8. I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Man, it doesn't even feel like it's been 8 episodes.
I know. I thought it was only on 6, so I was like, I hope it wasn't over, but it was episode 8.
Wow. Yeah, I just looked it up right when you said it was the finale. I'm like, no way. And then
It was, so
I
you
saw
confirmed
it.
it, okay.
Yeah.
I watched the Tim Meadows one and I started the next one, but I haven't gone back.
Okay. I mean, you're only
Yeah,
a
the
couple
next one
behind.
after the Tim Meadows one was the one with like Jack Black and Lizzo and who else? Somebody else was in there.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Oh, we weren't spoiling it 2 weeks ago, but fuck, it's been 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
2 weeks
I
is
deserve
allowed.
to have it
Yeah.
spoiled now.
So yeah, no, I'm disappointed with that. Like, Mandalorian has not. Listen,
Maybe you'll like it more than I did.
it's
I mean,
not
I don't
a
know.
great show, but it's a fun show.
It's
like,
fun.
you're
I'm
not watching.
I'm not over it.
Yeah,
you
you're
know
not
what I mean?
watching
It's like-
Mandalorian for any deep Star Wars lore.
No,
or
but
story. But
from what Dave Filoni and John Favreau have done so far has been amazing, and they just didn't hit the mark this.
I'm
this
nervous
season, I
that
felt.
they're saving something for like the Ahsoka series or whatever the next
That's coming next,
thing,
right?
whatever the next thing is.
August, I think.
Just the way that they added that Mandalorian stuff to Boba Fett, like maybe they're saving some Mandalorian stuff for Ahsoka, which, listen, I'm watching all these shows, so it doesn't matter to me, but man, so many people were confused about how Mandalorian started this year because they didn't watch Boba Fett.
I will say this. There was a few things that happened that I do like and I thought was really nice. But again, I feel like there still should have been a little more. Yeah.
That's cool. I watched the first 2 episodes of Barry.
I thought you were going to say
season 4.
Beef.
Did not watch that yet. Sorry.
Barry's first 2 episodes this season were awesome.
Excellent. Yeah. And I know this is the last season, and I was already like, God damn it, man! We're already a quarter of the way through the last season. I don't want this. I don't want this show to end. And it's funny because Connor is watching it now.
Yeah, he just started.
And Logan's watching it now.
But they're both starting Barry.
Yeah, so Connor's farther ahead. I think he just started season 2, and he's talking to me about it. And then Logan's watching it, and I come home, and other stuff's happening. I'm like, man, this show's fantastic. Like, I forgot how much stuff happened in season 1 that it's been on for however many years.
I did a
that you just
rewatch a
forget.
few months ago,
Oh, did you?
and it was really good.
I was actually talking
Brady
about that.
loves it.
I was talking at lunch the other day about maybe just because it's easy. It's
only half
seasons,
hour,
half
half hour
yeah.
long. Yeah,
Yeah, but
Quick
so
rewatch.
far,
and it's only 8 episodes a season too.
Yeah, so far this season's awesome. I do
yeah.
still hate his his girlfriend. I hate her, but
I do too. Yeah. Speaking of shows that have started, Succession and Yellow Jackets both had great episodes this week. I thought as well.
Christine's getting all caught up. She watched seasons 1 through
Of what?
3.
Three.
Oh,
Succession.
Succession?
Yeah, she's up.
She likes it?
She's catching up to Brady. When I left, they were on season 4, episode 2.
And you still have no interest, right?
I saw that first episode of the 4th season, so I'm good.
I'm good.
I've seen
Yeah,
enough.
both of these-
I got the gist.
It's so funny.
You know what he's going to come out with? He's going to come out with a Korean pop superstar drama. Nobody's going to interact with that, dude. We don't have anything to
No
say
one
to
on
them.
this continent's going to interact with you, but
Christine will.
Okay, but Christine's not here. Christine doesn't listen to our podcast.
and Christine doesn't want to.
But
interact
Dana
with you
does,
anyway.
and she's trying to talk Dana into watching it.
Oh, jeez.
Then why don't you guys have your side podcast with Dana about your
A
TV shows?
Korean K-drama.
Wow, I'm sure that's a niche that has not been.
I'm sure it's
scratched.
out there.
Yeah, well, there's everything out
I think
there. but
everything's been.
It hasn't been
scratched.
oversaturated, like a podcast about movies or something like that, which I'm
That are 40
familiar
years
with
old.
them. Yeah. But talking about Yellow Jackets real quick, I think I had said after the first episode that my concern was that they weren't moving fast enough, and like at some point,
Do you feel like it moves too fast?
now I'm like, you better slow down, pump these brakes because too much shit's happening.
I feel like we'll have a whole season where they're coming home.
maybe.
You know what I mean, like that, and then
Do
afterwards.
you watch Yellow Jackets?
No. I saw the first 5 episodes of season
Why
1,
would you
I think.
stop?
And
It
you
was so
stop.
good this first.
And
five
I'll tell you, man, something happened in this week's episode, and I don't want to spoil anything about this week's episode, but
Man, off the air, can you tell me?
well, I'll say right now, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The Lost vibes that I got in this thing, I was super nervous. Like something happened. I'm like, are they really going this way? I'm like, is Desmond going to pop his head out and say, "Good day, mate"? And,
No, what do you say? He's seeing another life, brother.
and it turned out that it was not really happening what was happening, but man, it felt like Lost, and I got my stomach actually dropped. I was like, no, I'm like, we've done this already, and
I'll talk to you about something off air.
they turned it around. So
That's good.
yeah,
Are you gonna go back to it or no? That's a no.
There's a possibility because I
Christine-
watched 5 episodes. Christine watches it. Yeah.
She watches it. Okay,
Yeah.
what do you got?
2 things. I got caught up except for the latest episode of Ted Lasso.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to watch that probably after this podcast.
Great.
tonight.
Really enjoying it. And I started a new show called, oh man, the name It's Okay to Not Be Okay.
Korean.
It's Korean. And I've decided that Korean television is the best television in the world.
I find that hard to believe, but okay.
Can you say that if you've only watched American and Korean TV?
yeah.
And
Well,
say
no,
the wor-
I've
say
watched
TV
versus
might be
the
great.
world?
I've watched a lot of Canadian. I've watched a lot of British.
I'll tell you what. I bet you there's some
Australian.
really nice Estonian TV.
There could be, but in my experience, Korean K dramas are
Oh yeah, that's all you watch.
incredible, absolutely incredible.
So that's it for you.
Moving on.
I don't want to talk about your Korean shows though. I finished Unstable, the Rob Lowe thing.
I forgot that I was watching
finished?
that. And then,
Well,
It's Netflix. That's right. It was all
so
out.
I finished
Okay.
that. Ended very well. I mean, it's
is this
teed up
season
for
2? Do we know? Or?
I think it's already gotten signed up for season 2, but if not, it's teed up for a good season 2.
Okay, good.
And
I gotta get back on that.
I finally finished
Yeah, me
season
too.
1 of Severance on Apple. Like that's one of those things that like I can only watch by myself because Michelle noped out on it. And
Yeah.
like I watched it at like 6:00 in the morning on Saturdays when I let the dogs out, and so I finished it this weekend. And man, it ended awesome. And I am so waiting for that show to come back. It is
That's coming back, right?
It ended so well, and
I love Adam Scott, and I watched 3 episodes of it, and I
haven't watched any episodes yet.
I have no
think that's
interest
the
in
one I'll
going back.
watch next on Apple after I finish Mythic Quest. I'm in season 3 of that.
oh wow, you're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Beef. I definitely want to watch Beef.
Beef, I'm 6 episodes in, and it's so good, man.
It looks good.
I
Very
just
good.
heard Amy Wong, right?
Allie.
Ali Wong.
Ali Wong,
It's
Ali
funny.
Wong,
She
yeah.
plays Amy. Her name's
she's-
Amy in the show.
I was gonna say maybe she's the voice of Amy Wong on Futurama, but Ali Wong is with somebody now. Just
Bill Hader.
is it Bill Hader? Okay, I was
Yeah.
gonna say someone I just saw.
Ali Wong and Bill Hader?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Because I think
Because I heard she just got divorced.
She did.
And Bill Hader was dating somebody else that was
Anna Kendrick.
before her.
Oh, really?
Blunt? Emily Blunt?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Wait a second. Was it
No,
Emily
that's
Blunt?
Jason.
No,
That's
yeah.
John
Jim's wife.
John.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Krasinski.
Krasinski.
Somebody else with a similar name to that and look, that vibe, Emily Blunt vibe.
Yeah, well, I don't know who.
All right, I don't know. Did you have anything else you watched or wanted to talk about? Or do you
I got stuff. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Do you have anything else? Because
I do not have anything else. No.
My Korean shows
But
are
seriously,
an hour and a half long, so it
Beef.
takes up all my time.
Beef's only 35 minutes, 38 minutes.
So I have a short story and then a long story. So my short story was we get this one because of basketball and hockey playoffs starting, we needed to expand our Sling package from blue to blue and orange now, and it came with all these other channels. And one of them is MGM Drive-In, which is like just like movies, uncut. Right there, it's not like any streaming service. I can just watch them there, which I think is the only channel I actually have on Sling where I can watch uncut movies. Yeah. Anyway, the other day, Something About Mary was on. It is one of the all-time funniest movies. I don't know if you remember what happens in the first scene in that movie. But
I haven't watched it since
like
it
the
was
whole Frank and Bean scene. Him the prom scene. So Michelle and I were watching it. We're crying. We're laughing so hard through that scene. We get all the way to the part where actually Ben Stiller has now made it to Miami and Warren goes, Franks and Beans, and Logan comes walking in the room. He's like, what is happening? And we're like,
oh, he had never seen
it before. So we rewound it to the beginning of the movie and started the whole thing over. And we only showed him that first scene, and then we just fast forwarded to where we had left off. But Logan was crying. He was laughing so hard. I was like, I'm glad guys getting their Franks and Beans zipped up in their fly translates across the generations.
Still works, yeah.
Oh my
20
God,
years later, it still plays.
So on Saturday, I came down here to watch the Knicks game.
Yeah, but
it was early. It was like 2:00. I'm gonna get my basement ready to watch the Knicks game. My Roku's not in my projector, and I'm like, huh. Like, did Logan say he was borrowing my Roku? I think maybe I remember him saying that. So I go upstairs. I'm like, Logan, do you have my Roku in your TV? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I want to watch the Knicks downstairs. And I'm kind of like looking at Michelle. I'm looking at Logan. I'm like, what am I going to do? Because Michelle's watching TV up there. Logan's watching TV in his bedroom. We have Fire Sticks, but Michelle's hacked the fuck out of them so bad they don't even work anymore. Which actually was very. I had to pay for all the right moves today because I couldn't get our Fire Stick to work to find a copy of it. So I'm standing there in the hallway like.
I watched it on Stars.
I want to, yeah. Well, I paid $4 for it, but I was like, I want to watch the game downstairs. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, how are you guys going to make this work for me? I'm taking someone's Roku, or I'm sitting in here and watching the game. Michelle, you're fucked. And so we ended up buying a TV for upstairs, a smart TV that has all the shit in it, so we don't need a Roku. So I can put the Roku down here. But we're all staring at each other, and Michelle's like, I just did the taxes. We're getting some money back. You want to go buy a new TV? Because we've been talking about getting like a 4K TV and doing all that. So we went to Best Buy all the way out in Mercer Mall area there.
Yeah.
And this was on Saturday. And as we walked into the Best Buy, it started thunderstorm.
Oh, yeah. It was that storm, right? Yeah.
So bad that the Best Buy was leaking. There were buckets all over the Best Buy with rain dripping from the ceiling. So we finally get our TV. Logan and I talk, we had a 55-inch. We decided we're getting a 65-inch.
Nice.
Logan and I, as soon as we saw the 75-inch, we're like, oh, we're getting a 75-inch.
Did you get the 75?
Yeah. And Michelle's like, no. I'm like, yeah, we're getting the 75-inch. And Logan's like, don't back down. Like, he's like pressing me, like, don't be a pussy. Don't back down. I'm like, okay. And then we were like messing around with the signals on the sound bar, and this thunder came out of the sound bar. I was like, oh, well, we're fucking getting that too. I'm like, we're definitely getting that. So after we decide on what TV we're getting and the sound bar, blah, 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 Michelle's like, is this going to fit in the back of your car? I'm like, of course it's going to fit in the back of my car. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, do you want me to measure? And the guy had a tape measure there. So I went out, measured, fit, no problem. Like with inches to spare, 6 inches to spare. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. No problem. Because it is now pouring outside. I'm like, it would really suck if like I couldn't get it in the car and whatever. So we wheel it out. Logan and I get it up on the bed of my truck. We pivot it. We turn it. We get it all the way to the back of the truck. It's sticking out like 1.5 feet off the back of my truck. Like the bed's, the door's down. Like I measured it side to side. I didn't measure it long ways. I just assumed it was big enough. So now we're standing there in the Best Buy parking lot like, what do we do? Like, what do we do now? Like, we can't close the door. We can't do anything. I'm just like, I don't know. But I had bungee cords, so I was able to bungee the TV to the inside of my truck.
It's still in the box, right?
It's still in the box, and it's still pouring out, and it's still just like the box is getting rained on. And so I had a blanket in the back of my car, and Logan puts the blanket on there. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "I don't know, man." I'm like, "I guess at this point, this is what we're going to do." So we're driving down Quaker Bridge Road, and it is like my wipers are like, I feel like my wipers are going to fall off because they're just going. I'm like, we can't do this. We can't do this. So I find a drive-through bank that's closed. So I just go so now I'm protected from the rain. So we're just sitting there like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Like, it's like a 25-minute drive. I'm like, I'm like, this sucks. So we're like trying to we're running through all the plays in our head. I'm like, Logan's like, I'll take an Uber to my work and get the van and come back here with the van. I'm like, dude, we're not sitting here for an hour waiting for you to do that. I'm like, that is a terrible idea. And then I go, oh, you know what's a better idea? I'm like, we'll take the TV out, leave it here. I'll drive you to work. I'll get the van. You bring the truck back. You bring the van back. I'll bring the van back. You bring the truck back. Michelle's like, you're going to leave me here with a 75-inch TV just sitting on the side of the road.
That's even worse.
I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about it. So I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So we're sitting there and like, all right, we'll just wait till the rain stops. Now it's like 4:00 ish. And Michelle looks on her phone. She's like, yeah, the rain's ending at 7. I'm like, oh. I'm like, we are not sitting here for 3 hours. No way. We're not going to do it. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, we'll just drive as fast as we possibly can home and hope that like our TV's not ruined by the time we get there. I'm like, you got the receipt, right? Because maybe we'll just come home and be like,
we plugged it in. It didn't turn on.
I was like, the store was leaking that day. Maybe we'll just be like, yo, we got this home and like it was leaking. So we had the blanket on there and I drove super fast, hydroplaning the whole way down 195 and 295 and got home and and when we got home and took the blanket off, like there was like 2 little spots on there. I'm like, man, that blanket actually really worked well. And so, we got the TV and it got it all hooked up in time for the Knicks game.
What kind of TV was it?
A Bravia, 75-inch, 4K, something.
Sony Bravia, that's nice.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Sony's.
But it was just so funny how like Michelle's looking at the 65-inch one and Logan and I are kind of like side-eyeing the 75-inch. I'm like, man, it looks so much bigger. Like it's only
She's like, you guys didn't see the 85-inch because they have them.
Oh, and I forgot.
86-inch. That's my next one.
The add-on to this is that the entertainment unit I have upstairs is 48 inches long. And the TV, it does not fit.
Oh, no.
It's 53 inches to the stand, like from the legs on the thing. The one we had up there had the leg, or it just had one big thing in the middle. This had 2 legs on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My entertainment unit wasn't big enough. So I took 3 of these little tiny tables right here. That is now our entertainment unit with the TV on for right now. So as soon as we got home, I took it out. I'm like, oh, God damn it, another problem. I'm like, what are we going to do? I'm like, do I get a piece of plywood and just put on top of our internet? I'm like, that'll look real good.
When I bought ours, I made sure I got that giant long thing to put it on. Yeah. And I made sure, because I wanted the 86-inch, but I ended up getting the 70-inch. But it's big enough to put an 86-inch on, so Christine can't fight me on it.
And it's so funny because like 75-inch TV in my room that I watched, it's too big. Like I was watching the Knicks game and my head was going back and forth as I'm watching. I was like, I'm going to get a neck pain just watching this. It's too big for that size room. Probably
I think it's perfect in there.
A 65 would have been perfect. A 75 is perfecter.
I'm going to ask you one question. Where would you get your Spreakers? That's right. You can find us on Spreaker. Everywhere else you get your podcasts. Apple, Google, Spotify. Download, rate, subscribe. Do all those fun things. Rate, also, comment on our Instagram posts, our TikToks, all that stuff. The Jazoo on Instagram, Jazoo74 on Twitter. I'm Jason. This has been the exciting and new mini podcast.
I'm Andy, AE Gonzo1 on Twitter, AE Gonzo1970 on Instagram.
And I'm Brian, Papa Bad Kitty.